Just need my notes. It's nice and Christmassy here. It's a bit crooked, isn't it? Hi everybody and welcome to this year's Christmassy videos on the Welton's Glasgow channel. I always look forward to these all year round because I love Christmas so much, and like so many of you, I am so delusional every year about all the things that I can knit for people that I love as gifts. So this year I thought, instead of creating a gift guide for the knitters, so things that you might want to buy, I wanted to create a little guide of things that you can knit as gifts for friends and family that are really quick to make. Some more quick than others, and it obviously depends on the time that you have to knit and your skill level, but I think all of these should be doable within a few evenings, if not less. So no matter what time you have on your hands, you should be able to find some gift that you can knit from the selection that I'll show you today. So this is my guide to super quick Christmas gift knits. I have loads of different categories here, so I will leave all the timestamps for all the different categories down in the description box. So if anything tickles your fancy in particular, then you can jump just to that timestamp. Let's start with fingerless gloves. Now, you probably all already know the penny gloves by Petite Knit. I'll just give it an honorary mention, but I'm trying to find some patterns that you might not know about. And one of those might be the Hefezoff mittens by Simone Bechtold, or With Two Hands as she's also known. This is a really cute little fingerless glove pattern. It has a little braid on the thumb side, which I think is just a little extra touch, shows a little bit more skill, and the rest is a 2x2 rib. And that means it'll be really stretchy, so you don't necessarily need to know the hand circumference of the person that you're knitting for, which I think is really good. It's knitted in a sport weight yarn and you only have two sizes, a small and a medium. But like I said, because it's knitted in a rib, you might have an easier time just fitting it on loads of hands, and you don't need to know the hand size of the person you're knitting for. I'm also leaving the prices here of everything so that you see how much each pattern is. And all of the patterns, bar one, are available on Ravelry. But again, the links will all be down in the description box, so you don't need to worry about writing any of this down. The next pattern is a bit more challenging and might take you a little bit longer, but it's the Harborside Mitts by Alicia Plummer, or Alicia Plums, I think she is on Instagram. This pattern has a little bit more challenging color work, but the repeat seems quite easy and straightforward. So I think once you get into the flow of things, it shouldn't be taking you too long. But I do think you should probably know stranded color work to do this. The one thing that I really particularly liked about these mittens is the detail of what appears to be like a folded top part of the fingerless glove. I think that is just a really nice detail, especially with that contrast bind off yarn that she's used. So I thought these just look really elegant and really showing off your skills. They are knitted with a fingering weight yarn, and they also come in 3 sizes. And since this is just a stockinette stitch fabric and also a stranded stockinette stitch fabric, you should really know the size of the wearers. So you might have to do some measuring here. The next category is hats and headbands. Of course, they have to feature in a guide about quick gift knits. One of my absolute favorites that I have knitted twice now as gifts is the Musselburgh hat by Isolda. I think it's a super well-known pattern, but I did have to feature it because it's just so great and easy to knit in my eyes. The special thing about it is that it's a swatchless pattern, so you don't need to work an extra gauge swatch, which will save you time. And I'm pretty sure you can find the amount of yarn that you need in your stash. So another tick for being a little stash buster. It's basically a very long tube that you knit, and then you fold one end into the other, and you can have either a beanie style hat or a brimmed hat, depending on how long you've knitted the tube and how high the head is of the wearer that it's intended for. This is another big plus because it can be worn in both ways, which means you don't really need to know the head height of the person or what style they prefer. So that's another plus for this pattern. Since you put one end into the other, it means that the fabric is double layered, which makes it super warm, even warmer if you go for the brimmed version. The size range is wonderful. It goes from baby all the way up to extra large adult, so anyone in the family is covered. And what's also special about this pattern is that they have a low visibility accessible pattern version that comes in the bundle that you get. So really recommend the Musselburgh hat. Lovely to knit, really easy TV knit if you ask me. The next pattern is one of my own designs. If you're new here, I also design knitwear, not as much anymore as I used to and with as much focus, but I have designed the Wild Sea hat. And this is a hat pattern which is knitted in a half fisherman's rib with a stockinette stitch brim, and it comes in 2 yarn weight choices. So you can either go for the DK version or you can go for the super chunky yarn version, which is really quick to knit up. I've got 6 sizes in there, so again, the whole family will be covered. We're starting at 6-month-old babies all the way up to extra large adults. And if you are unfamiliar with half fisherman's rib, I have a whole host of support videos on this topic. One that is talking about all things half fisherman's rib, from how you knit the stitch, how you save stitches, how you frog and take up the stitches again. So anything that you could be asking about this is covered in this video. I also have videos on the decreases that you need to do here in specific, so all the technical bases are covered. And I just think it's a super stylish, modern kind of hat, and I love knitting in half fisherman's rib. The next thing on the list is actually a headband, and it's the Irene headband by Journey Through Yarn. It's a very simple textured pattern. It has a great size range, again going from baby all the way up to adult. So you can knit it for the whole family. It's knitted in a DK weight yarn, and I love that she named the pattern after her grandma. The next headband that I chose was the Chunky Twist by Rilla Ruth, which I have knitted before twice, I think, as gift knits. And this one was super quick to make. It's knitted in an Aran weight, and again, it's one of those that looks so impressive, and it's actually super easy to make. In the pattern, she's used Drops Air. I've knitted it in Drops Nepal, which, if you know, is my absolute favorite. It's double layered, so again, really thick knit. It sits really close, has negative ease, so it sits really close to the head and is super warm and comfy and really does keep your ears warm. The only downside is that it does only come in one size, so you might need to do some adjusting if the person you're knitting for has a particularly large or particularly small head in order for it to fit. So the next category is slippers, which I think is a really big gift knit category because who doesn't like toasty feet? And the sailor slipper trend is definitely one that I get behind. It's a pattern made by Annie Sews, and I think it just looks absolutely amazing, absolutely adorable, and it's knitted in a super chunky yarn, which means it's a very quick knit once again. She's showing a few samples knitted in stripes, which means you can really go into your stash and find the yarns that you only have a little bit left of and just work a few stripes in this. So great stash buster. You might already have some of those yarns in your stash. It's a little bit more prep work because you have to really make sure that you hit the gauge and also that your swatch felts the way that it's supposed to felt in your washing machine and with your settings. So definitely don't skip on this step because you want these to fit at the end of it. And talking of fit, the shoe sizes covered in this pattern are UK 3 to 12, and that is EU 36 to 37 and US 5 to 14, I think. The sample that she's made is made with Drops Snow, but again, any non-superwash wool yarn in the super chunky weight will work here. And if you're a bit worried that felted slippers will be really slippery on any hardwood floors, then definitely check out Sock Stop. I've used this before on socks that I've made for somebody to be worn around the house, and it definitely was easy to apply and dried down fine. I don't know how it sort of wore over time because I gave them away as gift knits, but it's an option for making sure that nobody slips in these felted slippers if you need it. Another slipper pattern that I found really interesting and wanted to include in this gift guide is the Woman's Felt Slipper by Monique. This one is made with worsted weight yarn in garter stitch, and it's a lot more fitted than the sailor slippers. The pattern sizes are US 5 to 11, which is UK 3 to 9 and EU 35.5 to 43. This pattern also includes instructions for a wide foot width, which is great so that you get exactly the fit that you need. And there's pattern support if you need it. And also the designer allows you to sell the finished product if you cite them as the designer. So I think this is a great alternative to the sailor slipper if you want something a little bit more fitted. Something else that I have used as a gift knit before is small scarves. And one of them is the Talma scarf by Gregoria Fibers. So I have made this one before. It's a really beautiful and looks way more difficult than it is kind of knit. It was really quick to make even though it's using a fingering weight yarn. And I think it's just very chic and sort of an accessory that elevates any outfit and would go with so many different things and styles. And you can totally wear it indoor just to up your outfit a little bit, or outside when it's getting a little bit cold and you want to zip up your jacket all the way but just have something extra around your neck. The only thing that I'll want to add here is make sure that you pick a really soft yarn, because it's obviously sitting on a very delicate part of the body. The next pattern that I have is the Elise scarf by Susanne Müller. This is a little bit more on the ambitious side. It's made in fingering weight, but there's a lot of sort of stockinette and garter stitch in this one. So it might take you a little bit longer to make, but again, it's a very chic all-rounder accessory. I think would suit a lot of people in a lot of different styles, a lot of different options to wear it. The designer is actually wearing it as a headband in one of the pictures, which I think is a really cute idea. So I think it's a really versatile little make if you have a bit more time. This scarf only comes in one length, but the pattern comes in 3 languages: German, French, and English. By the way, if these little scarves are your jam, then I really recommend seeing the video by Andolini Knits, where she is talking about 20 scarf patterns that are not the Sophie scarf. I think that's the title. And she's presenting a whole host of really beautiful, well-curated designs. And there are so many that I thought are really beautiful, but just a little bit too ambitious for a quick Christmas knit. So lots of them haven't made it in here. But definitely check it out if you love these as accessories. The next category that I have are Christmas tree ornaments, or just decorations. Again, one of my own designs has to make it into that list. It's the Wild Christmas hat, which is a Christmas tree ornament. It's somewhere around in this Christmas tree again this year, and it's one of these super quick knits. So this one takes me about 45 minutes to an hour to make, and it's just a really cute little winter hat that you can put on your Christmas tree. And what I personally love doing is embroidering the name of whoever receives it, or sometimes just adding the initial of the name. And that makes it really cute because it's personalized. I think it looks like a little gift from the heart, and because you can personalize it, it's just all the more special. It's again another great stash buster. You only need about 10 grams of DK weight yarn, or 0.35 ounces. So very little. You can also hold fingering double if you want. And the whole thing is knitted in stockinette stitch for the brim, and then half fisherman strip for the top part. And again, the decreases are shown in the video, so there's no way that you can go wrong. If you want to knit something else for your Christmas tree, you could look at the Christmas stocking ornament by Mare Allison. And this one is actually free, and it's just a really cute little Christmas stocking. It's made in a DK weight or sport weight yarn, and it's around 5.5 inches long, which is about 14.5 centimeters. Again, really cute little make that would impress anybody, because you can add in some stranded color work if you fancy. The last item in this category is the Christmas cookies. So adorable, made by Sarah Elizabeth Kellner, and I stumbled across these I think last year, and I think they are just so adorable. It's a little set of a gingerbread man, a Christmas hat, candy cane, an angel, and a Christmas tree that you just knit up in the round, and then you just embroider it as if you were icing your cookies. And I think what would be really cute is if you knitted these and then let an older child maybe embroider them, give them a bit of the knitting bug. Any way that you want to do it, I think these will turn out really cute and quick. The next category are knits for your home. Now, we are currently in the middle of a renovation project, and something that keeps me going is thinking about all the nice things that I can knit for my home. And one of the things at the top of my list is pillowcases. The first pattern that I found really interesting is the High Desert Pillow Covers by Natalia. It's a set of 3 pillowcases which are worked in color work, and I think some are worked in color work, not all of them. Some color work, some structured knits, and they look really amazing. And what I love is that they all 3 go together, so you could even knit one pillowcase maybe for Christmas, the next one for birthday, or whatever it is, and you can have 3 gift ideas from one pattern. The pattern is made in a worsted weight, and you have a knitted front and a knitted back, so it may take you a little longer to make. The next pillow cover that I really loved was the Aosta cushion by the Knit Pearl Girl. It's made in a worsted weight and a lace weight, and it's in the Andalusian stitch pattern. So it's one stitch pattern that repeats all over front and back, so knitted in the round. And I really love these structured knitted things, and I can already feel how nice and cozy it would be with a mohair and something else that's really warm. So I think anybody who would receive this as a gift would be so lucky. Cushions are actually something that you can really easily design yourself as well. If you have a stitch pattern that you really want to make, or maybe you have an embroidery that you want to stitch onto just a plain stockinette background, you could just knit the square of the cushion, add a little bit of room to the top and bottom and to the sides, and then you can order a cushion backing that has a zip in it from Amazon, or maybe some craft stores that have embroidery will feature it as well. And then all that you need to do is block your finished knitted piece and then sew it together with the cushion backing, and then you've made your own cushion cover. And that would also mean that it's way quicker than knitting an entire pillowcase. I'll leave one of the cushion backings linked down below from Amazon. Now we have made it to the last category, which is hot water bottle covers. Another firm favorite amongst the gift knits because it is just so cold in winter and we all could use a nice little warm water bottle to hug us in the night. One that I found really cute was the Wee Winter Warmer by Laura Ashton Designs. It's knitted in a super chunky yarn, so it will be really quick to make. And I love that it looks like a little bonbon or maybe a little Christmas cracker. I love how they finished the top and the little I-cord tie that they have knitted around it with the two pom-poms. It's just so adorable. They have lots of inspiration online about different colorways. You can get the yarn for it on their website as well. But again, if you have super chunky yarn in your stash, great stash buster. You can knit it in stripes, you can knit it in one color. Really love it, and I'm pretty sure it'll knit up really quickly. On the website it says it's for intermediate knitters, but I think an adventurous beginner might be able to do it as well. And it's made for a standard 1 litre bottle. Something a little bit more up there in skills is the Laura hot water bottle cover by Anna Stevenson. It's knitted in a beautiful gingham stranded colorwork design, which I really loved, and I thought it was a little bit different to what you normally see with water bottle covers, but it's in stranded colorwork, so again it might take you a little bit longer, especially if you haven't done it before, but I think the result will be well worth it. Something that looks impressive but is way easier to make is the Druid's Hearth hot water bottle cover by Kat Weaver. This reminds me of the Gansey sweaters that you see swirling around everywhere around the winter time, which I absolutely love, and I think cables are a lot easier to do than stranded color work. By the pictures it looks like it's only stranded in the front and then plain in the back, which again makes it a little bit quicker to work. It's knitted bottom up in DK weight yarn in the round and is again written for a standard bottle size, but you can also make up your own size. The design explains how in the pattern. And if you just want something simple, plain stockinette stitch that is really quick and simple to make, just look for the hot water bottle cover by Emily Boldon. I hope I'm saying this right. It's a free pattern again, and it's knitted in DK weight yarn. So very simple, but does the job. And if you wanted to, you could add some duplicate stitch embroidery to make it extra special and personalize it. So that's it. These are all the things that I think you could knit quickly before Christmas, and that would make a lovely gift for anybody who would receive it. I am going to make a few of these, I think, for friends and family, she says optimistically, in the middle of a renovation. At least maybe the hot water bottle cover and the slippers are on my list. Let me know which ones you think you're going to make for friends and family, or if you have a go-to quick gift knit that you like to make year in, year out. I think it's a lovely thing to knit for somebody, and it's such an expression of love from anybody who loves to make things. Thanks for spending some time with me. I hope you have a lovely Christmas season, and I'll see you again in the next video. Bye! I think I actually wore the same thing in my gift guide last year. I just love it, and it's red and festive.